Hello, besties. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of March 21st. Hello, equinox. Hello, spring equinox. Hello, moment of balance between the light and the dark. So much is growing. And I know that sounds, I don't know, kind of cliche or obviously, Kirsten, but there's this beautiful observation at the equinox that things are constantly in flux. Things are constantly becoming, falling back into darkness and becoming into the light over and over again. So just take a moment to honor that in whatever way feels good. There's so many ways to honor the equinox, but I really want to say to you, as I always will, trust your instincts, trust your art, trust your magic. What calls to you? Do you want to go out and be with nature on this moment? Do you want to somehow honor the light? Do you want to make peace or say thank you to the void, to the darkness that you are emerging from, that we are emerging from? Or if you're in the other hemisphere, do you want to welcome the void, welcome the darkness, welcome the fallow time, welcome the wintering? There's so many ways to be in this moment, but do be in this moment. Like, do honor what this is. The card I pulled for us this week is the Hangman. And the Hangman is, as you know, the card of reversal. It's also the card with us in March. I've said to you before that this is an Empress month, the 3-month March, but it's also a Hangman month. It's a month where we are reminded of the power of switching our perspective, of reversing our point of view, of seeing things more clearly. And the Hangman coming in a Hangman month, it wants you to pay attention. So please note, we're going into a Hangman week. This week will matter to the shift in your perspective. But importantly, when it comes on the heels of the Seven of Pentacles, it's really asking us to not take things at face value. We are assumption-making creatures. That's the way we operate. That's how we survive. We look at the world, we see patterns, we make assumptions about the way things are today because of how they've been in the past. We make assumptions about what will happen in the future based on what we've noticed up until today. And that's human nature, the way the brain works, and also such a blind spot, like such a deep and powerful blind spot. The Hangman is telling you that there's a request that you open your mind and your heart to the possibility that you don't know, that the way you've seen things before is not the way they will continue to become, that the assumptions you're making are not right, right? They're historical, or they're based in a trauma response, or they're based in a kind of a laziness, lack of presence mixed with laziness. And it sounds judgy, but I don't mean it that way. I just mean that we get into a routine. We have the structure of our day. We assume that we know how things are going to unfold. Even in particularly chaotic times, this is a moment, equinox, beginning of spring where we are. The world is in growth, it's in formation, it's in expression, it's in creation, it's in manifestation. And we think we know what that's going to look like. We think we know what that rhythm will be, even when all of the signs and signals around us are saying we are not living in times we've lived in the past. Like, things are different. People are operating differently. The world is making different choices. There are trajectories and roads open to the collective, to the world, to our country, to ourselves that were not open before. And there's just this, and this is again, that's hermit, all right? So this all nests on top of each other. We're in this hermit year. The hermit does not see the path until they walk it. Remember, they carry the staff and they carry the lantern for a very specific reason. There's a road that they are creating with their footsteps, and they only know the road by the next right step. They only know the path to walk by the next right step. So we stay focused, we stay present to say, this is the next right step. I'm going to move my body in that direction. And I'm going to go slow in a hermit year. I'm going to take time to integrate. I'm going to take time to open my awareness. And why I say that the assumptions feed off our laziness and our lack of presence is because we're kind of rolling through this narrative. And I've said this before, but it's important to think about our neuropsychology, the way our brains work. 90%, 90, 95, 98% of what you thought yesterday, you are going to think again today, because we're running in patterns. Again, it's how we survive. It's how our brain keeps us safe, or thinks it keeps us safe. So the invitation is to pause, to get present, to notice what's happening, and to open your awareness to not jump 7 steps down the road. This is the way it will be because this is what's always happened, because this is the way it's always been. and to reel yourself back. Like, this is where we take responsibility for ourselves, where we begin to have the integrity to trust our own authority. Okay, here's where I am now. And this is the next right step. I've taken it. I'm going to take a moment to just pause and reflect and see what other pathways open, what other possibilities open. The hangman is saying to you, you are not seeing things like they're not what you think they are. You're making assumptions, you're making choices, you're seeing one way, one road, one possibility where there are infinite roads, infinite possibilities. Goes back to what we said last week. The world is full of unseen forces, full of unseen forces. Get your head a little bit of quantum physics these days and talk about the observer effect in quarks. Talk about the things that, like quarks. Quarks are something that are really on my mind. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff on my mind, as you all know, but quarks is up there. And the way that quarks respond, right? This idea of the way they echo across time and space, the way they're bonded together, the way they impact each other, the observer effect. Like, there's so much happening in the physics of the world that really escapes our notice. And you can say that about, like I said last week, the tides, the universe, the solar system, the earth, what it's choosing to do, what your body's choosing to do. There's so much being communicated to you, which is why, right, we operate on assumptions, which is why not every choice is a novel choice. Not every movement is a novel movement, because we would drive ourselves crazy. We would never get out of infancy. We would be like shocked every minute, every moment, every breath. So that there is like a survivalness to that. There's a sense of being able to exist in the world and move through the world and grow and learn that comes from these rhythms, these habits, these courses that run through our brain, through our consciousness, through our behavior. And also, you are being asked to let yourself be shaken up right now. The eclipse season was doing that. The transits are doing that. The numerology is doing that. The world is doing that. There's this little bit of shake it off, like shake off this sense of malaise, this sense of hopelessness, this sense of what has been will always be, in good ways and in frightening ways, like both and, my loves, both and. And so the hangman is saying, please, please, please do not assume that you know. Do not assume that what you see is what you get. And again, that can come in shocking ways, or the eclipse season of, holy shit, they are not who I thought they were. Oh my God, that situation, that dynamic, that movement, that option, that opportunity, it's not what I thought it was. And I am deceived by that. I am devastated by that. And also, there's a beautiful aspect of, I assume that this relationship would always be this. I assume that I would never get this need met. I assume that this opportunity would never be available to me. And I was wrong. I was wrong. We are in this incredibly dynamic universe, in this incredibly dynamic moment in time, in these incredibly dynamic bodies, and we take it for granted. We just forget. So the hangman is, especially on top of the Seven of Pentacles, is things are ripening, they're gestating, they're becoming, they're gearing up to happen, to move, to present themselves, to reform things, to reform you, to reform the world. Give it a minute. And please don't assume that you know. It goes back to, again, that idea of I don't know. Last week, it came in like I don't know, and we'll see what happens, and it could be amazing. This week, it comes in as, don't you dare. Don't you dare assume that you know. Like, check yourself, bruh. Check yourself. Like, you don't know. And the hangman comes in with a little bit of fierceness around this. Like, I want you to feel into this, you guys. We're talking about March energy. We're talking about Empress energy. We're talking about the energy of the earth, the energy of creation, the energy of abundance, the energy of miraculousness, miraculous growth. And so there's this sense that the I don't know doesn't come in as like, I don't know, and the world could be beautiful. It comes in as, how dare you? How dare you assume to know? There's almost like an insult to the Empress, to the earth, to the world, to the universe. How dare you assume that you know everything? It's like, yes, you are the universe in motion, and you are one small part in the play. You are one small expression, one small song. You are a beautiful song, but you are one song in a universe that is singing. And so the hangman comes in with the kind of this sense of like, check yourself and just notice where you're assuming that you know the answer. You're assuming you know what will happen. really inviting you again back to what I was saying last week. Please lean back. And I was thinking about it. I was listening to the podcast again, and when I presented it to you, I said it's neither good nor bad, and yet the energy I was bringing to the conversation was like leaning in is a bad thing, leaning back is a good thing. And I want to just kind of correct that and check myself. The what I'm trying to talk about in the body is this sense of urgency, the sense of reactivity that tends to move as a contraction, as a forward momentum, versus a sense of relaxed trust and faith, which we can experience in our bodies as a relaxation, as a leaning back, as a I'm not doing it on my own. But there's equally important is the lean forward of engagement, of like locking in, of knowing what you're going after and being willing to work towards it. And the leaning back, which can be avoidance, which can be, hey, not my circus, not my monkeys, right? This is why it's so important that we keep this perspective of it's all information. It's not good, it's not bad, it's also not personal. It's just information. There's information here in how I respond to this. There's information in whether this leaning in feels like passion and excitement and focus and renewed Aries warrior spirit versus this lean in feels like reactivity and woundedness and, I'm never going to be enough. And this lean back feels like, oh, the universe has my back. I am nested into the grid of love and light that is the world. I am held in the luminous grid of this earth. I am not walking alone. I am a fellow co-creator. I am locked in the most relaxed way ever. And there's the lean back of, hey, not my problem. And so again, none of it's good or bad, but it's all information. And the hangman is just saying, you don't realize that you're running this tape in your head, this narrative in your head of, oh, well, I know what's going to happen here. I've seen this play before. I know how I'm going to respond and how they're going to respond. Have you ever done that? Have you ever had a dialogue in your head, had a conversation in your head and been like, and then I'm going to say this, and then they're going to say this, and then you actually go with the person in groundedness with your truth. And it's so much easier than it was in your mind, right? Or they say something to you that really surprises you, especially if we're moving with people and places that are also interested in growth, that are also interested in openness, that are also interested in love. So this hangman, he comes in a little bit fierce. He comes in a little bit like, yeah, check yourself, a little bit like, how dare you assume that you know? And the beauty of it is like, watch me, like watch, like the universe saying to you, just check yourself, hold on, watch me. Like, what's that? Hold my beer? Like the universe being like, "Hold my beer." You don't even know what's happening. You don't even know how this is gonna shake out. There's something about that that's, I will say this, enlivening, very much in line with Aries season. I think we might actually be stepping into Aries season today. There's this sense of like, I'm here and I'm alive and I'm with you. And that's you in you. And that's also this renewed spark in the world, this renewed energy and heat. And so again, just like tracking that, just kind of, okay, interesting. And it really wants you to not make assumptions about what's going to happen because you just don't know. And the hangman's like, and that's okay. It's okay that you don't know. Someone sent me this thing on Instagram and it was like, it's this guy talking and he's telling the story, he does like this whole analogy of two babies in utero. If you guys have seen this, and they're like talking, and it's like there's nothing outside of this world. And one of the things that's really interesting to me is they do this, and as he walks down the analogy, he's like, "Well, I know that mother's out there waiting for us," and the other baby's like, "There's no way mother's waiting for us. If mother were waiting for us, she'd be here. Because I don't see her. I'm looking around. I don't see her." And the little other baby's like, "No, mother's all around us. Like we're nested within her." Okay, you too, man. So the analogy holds. Like, yes, you can think of it as like an after death analogy, but I think about it as a here analogy. We are not left here. We chose to come here. We chose to experience this. And we are held. We're in this. We Even if you don't believe that there's a God or a mother holding you are holding you. Your spirit, your soul is so much bigger than the footprint it takes up in a body, than the footprint it takes up in this incarnation. And if you can trust no one else, no God, no deity, no energy, you can trust yourself that you came here, you chose to be here, and you are holding yourself through this. You are with yourself. There's so much I could say about this, but in all these modalities and all these schools of thought, we talk about kind of the shattered nature of the soul, right? You can talk about it as shadow in Jungian psychology. You can talk about it in like constellations. The work that we want to do in this community that I'm going to be launching soon is going to be looking at it from the feminine archetypes. But we kind of are live this shattered experience, and so much of the work, self actualization, is the remembering, the bringing back into the fold, the encompassing, the holding, the willingness to be all of you as much as you can possibly fathom here in this time. And I say that to you because you are bigger than your expression in this moment. I know that. I hope you know that too. But if you don't, I know it. I'll hold it for you until you're ready to feel it. And the hangman saying the same. Like you are, you, me, all of us are operating through a very narrow lens. And that lens is fogged with our assumptions, fogged with our history, fogged with our trauma. And so the hangman is like, I get you, I hear you, and please trust that there's more, that just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not real. Okay, so where does that leave us? It leaves us really asking you to be open minded this week, to come to all things with as much groundedness and presence and curiosity as you possibly can muster without swaying the universe to fall into the narrow lane of what you are assuming will be, to allow there to be more breath, more space, more possibility in your own personal experiences, in your communities, in the collective, in the larger world. So the hangman is flipping the script. It is a reversal, it is a pause. And again, coming on the heels of that Seven of Pentacles, it's like, just wait. Things are in transition. Just please, please, please hold your hat, hold it a minute, hold the pose. Okay. I hope that serves you. I hope that you can feel the energy of that, the truth of that. And I hope that this Aries season, as we turn the corner from Pisces to Aries, I do hope that it lights you up. I do hope that this spark comes in. That's that leaning in. I was talking about that leaning in that feels like, damn straight, I'm going to live this life. Damn straight, I'm going to go after what I care about. I'm going to work for this because I want it, because I want to experience myself experiencing this aspect of life. There's something so beautiful about that. It's so life affirming. And the hangman can feel like a removal. It can feel like a withdrawal. There's a similar, the hangman and the hermit are connected that way. But the hangman has this sense of, you call it potential energy, right? You can feel that something is building and that there is going to be movement. They are going to be moved to action. The card that comes after the hangman is the death card. So there's something that needs to get like percolate to then be released, percolate to then be transformed, percolate to then become its own metamorphosis. It's like literally the cocoon energy, right? That's the hangman. There's a similarity there. Like, just pause. I'm here. I was a caterpillar. I hope to be a butterfly. And in this moment, I'm just in the in between, the liminal place, the holding, the waiting. Yeah, the in between. And so, how can you enjoy that? How can you let that do what it needs to do? To remember that because we can't outwardly point to the movement doesn't mean there's not deep transformation in progress, deep gestation in progress, deep, yeah, birthing in progress. Okay, cool. My my notes, my business notes, shaman school. Please take a look at the website. I'll put the link below, but I added some more detail. So if that's something you want to kind of review and process in your own time, please do that. I'd love to have you. We would love to have you. I do believe that the earth is calling for its stewards, calling for its keepers. And one of the things that you are initiated into as you walk the wheel in shamanism is to become an earth keeper, to become a star keeper, to become someone who is here to honor and hold and move with the earth. I do think there's no better time for us to be expanding that footprint, expanding that energy here on the earth. Okay. And then I'm so excited for Mystic Rising, that community. It's technically live, like it's technically launched. I might do like a mini call in April, but we will officially be launching in May. The way that's going to work is it's going to be a year-long track. You can sign up month by month, but it's like a year. We have it stretched out a year in advance, a year forward. And every month we're going to engage with the numerology, the tarot, the energy of the month, but we're going to walk through it through the lens of one of the feminine archetypes. And so for April, the energy is the creatrix, the artist. For May, the energy will be mother. June, we're going to move into lover energy. And then July, we move into siren energy. And you'll be able to see kind of all of the months, all of the archetypes. Why are we doing this? Why does this matter to me? It matters to me for so many reasons. The first one is I know we need more community than ever before. I know that there is a question about women stepping into their fullness, into their fullest expression without fear, without hesitation. That is very much, at least on some frontier, the heart of the revolution. I believe that your ability to hold your full self, to hold your most tender vulnerability, to hold your most brilliant light, to hold the warrior that protects all of that, to hold your wise woman, to hold your siren, to really become engaged with the full spectrum of your power. I believe that's a lifetime process. Like, I think we could walk through, first of all, there's many more than 12 archetypes. There's all the shadows that are associated with each of those archetypes. Like, we could be doing this work together forever, and that's amazing and so fun to me. But I do think the gesture towards understanding, the way I like to think about it is your archetypal constellation. So you have all of these energies. They are in your system. So whether you're familiar with your queen, whether you feel playful with your siren, those energies exist in you as a human, and particularly as a woman expressing herself here on this earth, being incarnate in this earth. And I would like to encourage more of us to make friends with and understand and transmute any of the shadow around that, to welcome it into the fold, to hold ourselves more broadly, more widely, more fully in this experience of being human, and what that does for yourself, for your impact on the world, but what that does for your community, what that will do for the evolution that we are undergoing as a planet and as a people, I think is beyond measure. And so in this community, what I'd like us to do is to move through each month as a practice of engaging with those archetypes. So we will have 3 calls a month. We'll meet the first 3 Tuesdays of the month from 1 to 3. Those calls are recorded, so if you can only make 1 or 2 of them, do that and you'll have access to it. There'll be like a PDF, like a workbook on each of the archetypes that will be given to you at the beginning of every month. And then the first call of the month will be kind of like, this is what we're working with. The second call of the month will be like, let's amplify that. So let's take that into practice. Let's take that into a practice together. Let's take that into a dialogue together. And then the third call of the month will really be just for mentorship support. So wherever you are, you can bring energy around that archetype. You can bring energy around your tarot practice. Whatever I might be able to hold with you, whatever the community might be able to hold with you, that's what we'll bring there. And I will save the last 20 minutes of every call for questions and answers. So this becomes a space where we can gather and support each other in our becoming, and a place where we can learn, and a place where we can actually practice and play with these energies and expand and amplify them for each other. And then a place for support. So where I can offer you, I'm going to be doing less one-on-one work right now, and I'm really going to be focused on building this community because I love to teach. I could, anyone who knows me knows, like, I always have something to talk about. I'm always curious about something. But I also, if you ask me what I'm here to do, I'm here to remind you of your gifts and your light and your ability to share and guide others. And so, do I want to be the teacher and guide? Yeah. But do I want you to be the teacher and guide? Yeah. I want all of us to embrace our responsibility here and our gifts. And I want us to like unfurl them into the world. So that's my goal with that. So it will be $89 a month. It'll be 3 calls a month. It'll be the support, the like material support and practice support on the portal, on the website, and then on the membership site. And then there'll be a Facebook group as well, which I feel, torn about Facebook. I'm not a huge fan, obviously, for so many reasons, but it is an easy way to have a community space. And so for now, that's what I'm doing. And if I can come up with something better, great. And maybe that will take off and maybe it won't. And we'll just kind of let that go as we evolve together. I really hope you'll join me in it. I think this is going to be, I guess what I'll say to you is, those of you who circle with me know these things. I mean, to sit in circle with women over time is the greatest gift. And it's the greatest gift for your own sense of what's possible. It's also the greatest gift to witness and reflect that to other women. It really does create this network and this strength and this groundingness that it's hard to explain if you haven't experienced it, but it's profound. And it is a depth of power that we create together. It's just remarkable to me. And so that is why we gather over time together. There's something really powerful about that. The second thing people know about me who circle with me on the regular is that I'm very interested in building a business and a model that sustains me in my life without feeding more sense of scarcity or exclusivity or off limitness to the world. So again, back to my capitalist rants, there is a way in which even something like service, even something like spirituality, it gets co-opted. And the business models that exist right now are make yourself, they talk about like you want rings of access to you. So they're like, okay, you want to have rings of access to you and it costs more money to access you more. I wholly reject that. Like I, in my bones, feel like that is almost sacrilege. Like I just don't buy that. At the same time, I'm human and I only have so many hours in the day. Only have so much energy to bring to this. I need to be a fully resourced human, fully resourced woman, a fully like kind of satisfied woman to bring the work to people the way I want to bring work to the people and to you, to me, to our community. And so there's a sense of how do I build a business that moves in a more feminine model of growth and doesn't set the stage for there to be some sense of like, this is for some people and not for other people. So I'm trying to do this in a way that's affordable, and I want to build community together while we learn together. I think there's a way to do that that benefits the community and also benefits me and the abundance and the beauty that I want to bring into my own life. So the reason I'm saying all that is because this does that for me. And so I'm just trusting the impulse around it. I'm trusting the joy it brings me, the excitement and the curiosity it inspires in me. I'm really trusting that that will resonate and that that will serve. That's kind of an inside peek into what's going on in my psychology and why I'm thinking about things this way. And I really believe in this. I believe in women. I believe in the power of women circling. I believe in the power of women taking up more space in the world fearlessly and courageously, and I wanna be part of that movement. So that's what Mystic Rising will be. And yeah, what do you think? Keep me posted, let me know what you think, and hit me up if you wanna hear more about it. I do have the webpage live, so you can go kinda take a look at what I'm thinking, and I would love feedback. I'd love to hear what you guys think, how that works for you, and if that excites you like it excites me. And I think that's it. So that's what I'm birthing in this at this beautiful moment of the equinox. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Pachamama. Thank you, Pachapapa. Thank you, world, for being with me in this moment of release, because that's what it feels like. I am proud of the work I do, and I'm proud of what I create, and I'm proud of the women that I've gotten to work with. I'm honored, like so deeply satisfied by the work I get to do with women in particular, and by watching them become their most radiant selves. I just can't express to you how good it feels. It brings tears to my eyes. Like I'm just very, 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 very grateful for my life and my work. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Sending you so much love on this beautiful equinox moment. May the sun warm your face today. May you too feel excited and inspired about what's coming next for you. Despite what the world wants us to crumble into right now, may you find things that you were excited about. May you find things that you believe in. May you be willing to see with new eyes, with fresh eyes, this wild world. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.